Wake up, rise and shine. It's a brand new day with Mo and News. It's time to have your say. She's got the scoop, the stories, all the latest trends. Mo's got the news, let's hear it. My dear friends, from politics to showbiz, no story's too small. Mo covers it all. She's got the inside call, her voice so smooth, like honey in the summer sun. With Mo on the mic, you know the news is always fun. Mornings with Mo, the best newsy news in the world. With her style so classic and her stories unfurled, from morning till night, she's got us in the know. Turn on your radio, let Mo's newsy news flow.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you, Wolfram, for your Modly Mod duties. And Penny, good morning. Christine, good morning. Tim, probably going to go red next week. I have the hair dye in my room. I know other people like it, but I really hate my blonde roots. It's very weird. I don't know why. Good morning, Boomer. And Jedi Jess, thank you for doing your Modly Mod duties. And Janie J and Tammy, good morning. Good morning, Audio Coffee. And a dog named Boo. And thank you, Squid, for your mod duties. And let's see here. And Debbie Blair, good morning. So we have monkey mayhem in South Carolina after 43 primates escape a research facility. Well, you guys, this is how 12 monkeys goes. Or Planet of the Apes. I don't know which post-apocalyptic future we are headed for, but here we go. Either that or I am hearing rumors that all of the primates escaped to go to a Peanut and Fred rally. So, for a good cause. For a good cause. They were out. They were like, "You shall not hurt our squirrel brothers and our trash panda brothers." And the monkeys are liberating themselves. Residents in a small South Carolina town are finding themselves in the middle of a real-life game of Jumanji after 43 monkeys escaped Wednesday from a research facility. The rhesus macaque primates are still on the loose as of Thursday evening after an escape from Alpha Genesis Primate Research Center in Yemassee. They are believed to be in a wooded region surrounding the facility, the police department said in an update about 6 p.m. Quote, residents are strongly advised to keep doors and windows secure to prevent these animals from entering homes. Y'all, if this happened near me, youngest most feral would have monkey traps. We would end up with George the monkey. That's just how it would happen. Because of course, once you name it, it's yours. So he'd be like, this is my new monkey. His name's George. I'd be like, damn, we've got a monkey now. But in all seriousness, let's not, if you live near here, do not invite these monkeys in. I don't know what the hell research they were doing on these monkeys. I don't know why we're still experimenting on monkeys. I mean, it's funny because I look here and I have to notice my own bias, because if this were a bunch of lizards, I don't know that I'd be like, why are we still experimenting on lizards? So I completely understand my own hypocrisy. If this was a bunch of mice, I would be like, oh, hell no. They are a really good genetic match. I do know that. I hope they were kept in humane, facilities, because these are very social, very, intelligent animals. And it does bother me that, if we can use, here's how I see about it. I'm not radically PETA or nothing, because bacon is awesome. But if If we see, a very intelligent creature, then we should respect the fact that these are intelligent social creatures and need to be given stimulation and time to build troops and things like that. They are described as being very skittish and will congregate in groups. Now, all of the young primates, all female from between 6 to 7 pounds, have never been used for testing and are too young to carry disease. Traps have been set to catch the animals by the police department using thermal imaging cameras to find them. The police are working closely with the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office and the state's agricultural and wildlife officials. Alpha Genesis CEO Greg Westergaard told CNN that the primates escaped after a caretaker failed to secure doors, saying it was a 100% human error. We've placed humane traps and have seen monkeys in the woods next to our property. We have people keeping a lookout in the area where they've been spotted. Alpha Genesis Test Facility specializes in non-human primate research for biomedical research community. This is one of the largest primate facilities in the country, designed specifically for monkeys, with over 100 acres of land for research and breeding purposes, according to the website. Police have instructed people from refraining, to approach the primates who are highly sensitive and easily startled. We recommend the public avoid this area to prevent frightening them any further. This is not South Carolina's first rodeo with monkeys on the loose. The Post and Courier in Beaufort County reported that 19 monkeys escaped from the same facility in 2016, but were returned 6 hours later. So there you go. Monkeys on the loose in South Carolina. And I know someone had to think, you're going to put your eye out. Someone had to think. Someone's mom had to tell them this. But teens are not very smart. So, in a dumb, you know, move, Chicago teen left blind in one eye as a group terrorized the city in Halloween paintball attacks. This poor young girl, I mean, to lose your sight, to lose something at such a young age, I can't imagine. And then to have it be something so senseless and so stupid as, idiots going around paintballing people. A Chicago teen was left blind in one eye when a group of miscreants allegedly drove down her street and targeted their victims with high-pressured paintball gun during a random Halloween attack. Vicky Murillo, 19, and her friend were followed by a strange car as they walked through the Clearing West community when a vehicle made a U-turn and drove back to the teens. A crew of paintballers allegedly stuck phones out of the car before they shot a barrage of paintballs at the young women, striking them multiple times. They were both on the floor crying and screaming, their hot chocolate next to them on the floor, Vicky's older brother Adrian told the outlet. Murillo and her family were severely hurt, left bleeding on the ground before paramedics rushed them to the local hospital. She was admitted to the emergency as one of the shots struck her in the face and ruptured her eye globe, Adrian said on a GoFundMe page set up for his sister. Murillo underwent emergency surgery on her eye, but she has yet to regain vision and left doctors skeptical about whether it may return at all. Unfortunately, it is very likely that if any vision is restored to that eye, it's going to be extremely blurry. The teen has had several surgeries scheduled for her injuries, one starting Friday, but the family has to wait and see on outcomes and are trying to remain as optimistic as we can. Murillo says he's frustrated with the senseless crime in a neighborhood as some of his neighbors came forward and revealed they were also shot by paintballs on Halloween. It's crazy to me because they were wearing pink fluffy things. I don't know who would target young women like that, he said. The random shooting, so it looks like this is just ridiculous and stupidity. I mean, they're wearing little jackets like that. And what a beautiful young lady to have her life completely changed for no good damned reason. The random shooting took place in the Clearinghouse community, roughly 2 miles west of Chicago's Midway Airport. Murillo's family was told that two other people were involved in similar incidents around the city on the same night. Video shared online captured the armed hooligans terrorizing the streets of several Chicagoland neighborhoods, and with at least one person leaning out the window, firing multiple paintball rounds at their unsuspecting victims. One clip displayed an unknown shooter drilling several shots at a person waiting at a bus stop as the victim attempted to evade the high powered round, according to a video obtained by CBS Chicago. Mounting evidence from the vehicle or from the videos and similar descriptions of the car reported by neighbors has led Adrian to believe that there was malice or an intent of malice in the attacks that left his sister hospitalized. Quote, it was malicious. Well, I mean, does sound like that, but let's get our Sarah Boone malicious and or unintentional uh, meter going. And yep, looks like it's malicious. What are you going to do? Sarah Boone's malicious and or unintentional meter generally never goes to unintentional. Who knew? The protective brother told the outlet, I mean, they went out that day specifically for that reason. It's the same color car, same everything, he said. That means that this individual has been in this area for some time now. Adrian said he's been working with detectives to find the shooter suspected to be responsible for blinding his sister, with the hope of heavy charges being brought against the suspect. We want it charged as high as it can get, because if not, it's going to be a slap on the wrist. I hope they find this person. You know, remember when you used to take a bunch of cheap toilet paper? Not that I allegedly did any of these things, but in Minecraft, you know, they go ahead and do it right now. Oh my gosh, Roland Arthur, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. And yeah, I've never done paint balling. I am sure once my boys get a little older, they will be all into the airsoft, kind of stuff. And I'm I've never been paintballing, but I'm pretty sure with that kind of stuff you have to wear like a visor or like safety glasses and a helmet. I could be wrong. It's not my jam. You have to go outside to play. But this is a dumb, dumb thing to do. And you idiot moron kids, you filmed your crimes. So good luck, when they come to you and all of this is on your, live stream. Way to go, geniuses of the moron community. I have some questions. A woman marries a man who sustained a concussion and forgot they broke up 7 months earlier. I mean, is he gonna get his memories back and realize you were a cahoot and then your marriage is over? Because I am confused. Uh, I mean, I wish you all love, peace, joy, and all of that other stuff, but, what if his memories comes back and he realizes you, like, bought $90 million worth of Beanie Babies? I I'm asking for a friend. The day after a woman dumped her boyfriend. Oh, she was the dumper, not the dumpee. Well, that makes sense. I mean, did he reset with the, concussion? Is that's what happened? A day after a woman dumped her boyfriend, he sustained a concussion and forgot they broke up. 7 months later, they tied the knot. Well, I mean, I guess they do tell you with your computer, if you unplug it and then replug it, it might fix all the problems. It's a joke, y'all. I don't want anyone to get a concussion. The day after a woman broke up with her boyfriend, he sustained a concussion and forgot their split had happened. 7 months later, they said, I do. When Jenna and Mitchell Brotherson married in September 2020, no one would have ever known they split 7 months before, including the groom. The day after Jenna broke up with Mitchell because she was, quote, too overwhelmed with life. It's weird. When I get too overwhelmed with life, I talk to Mr. Mo, who, granted, he does his very best to try to understand where all of this overwhelmed feeling is. And if I tell him this is just a venting conversation, then he's pretty okay with like just listening there and just let me vent and, just kind of nod and stuff. But okay, overwhelmed with life, I see. He got into a ski accident that left him severely concussed. Back in February 2020, Mitchell, who was 22 at the time, was attempting to do a flip at Utah's Beaver Mountain. The joke writes itself. I'm going to be good. When he landed wrong, hitting his head, blacked out, and woke up while paramedics were taking him down the hill, completely unaware of what's going on. Quote, he was going off a jump. It was super icy. His feet went in front of him, so he went off the jump and landed on his head, Jenna tells People. It was a pretty severe concussion. He ended up failing most of his courses that semester and had to take a leave of absence after that to help his brain heal. Mitchell's concussion significantly impacted his memory, causing him to forget his breakup with Jenna entirely. At the hospital, he called who he thought was still his girlfriend, also then 22, to pick him up because he couldn't drive. I was like, why is he messaging me? I just broke up with him, Jenna recalled in a video posted to TikTok. She continues to People, quote, Mitch kept messaging me and trying to hang out after his concussion. When I was confused as to why he would keep messaging me because we'd broken up. I thought maybe he had took the statement of staying friends really seriously, but it even was to the point when I told him that my roommates had a hard day, he came and brought us each ice cream. So you had a really nice dude and you were like, I'm having too much laugh issues. You have a really good dude who seems like, his genuine core character is to be kind because even severely concussed and confused about the past, he hears your friend had a bad day and he brings you all ice cream. Ma'am, I hope you have matured because holy crap. Jenna almost immediately regretted her decision to break up with Mitchell because he had been so kind and thoughtful of her feelings during the conversation and just tried to help her work through her difficulties of life instead of becoming upset and mean. So she reevaluated their breakup in March 2020 while on vacation for spring break. I was so nervous to swallow my pride and asked if we could date again, said Jenna, who received a text from Mitchell to hang out the day she returned. After hanging out with the friends, we chatted into the evening and I asked if we wanted to get back together. And he realized that's when I realized he had no clue we'd even broken up. She continues, I told him how we were in my car and I said to him and what he said back, and he told me he didn't remember anything except chatting in the car. But he didn't remember what we chatted about. He thought it was super funny and I was relieved. It made us easy to get back together because to him, we were never not together. So there you go. Works out, I guess. 5 months later, on August 18th, 2020, Mitchell proposed to Jenna at Big Cottonwood Canyon, where he first told her he loved her. Less than 3 weeks later, they were married in Draper, Utah on September 4th, 2020. During my husband's speech, he brought up not remembering the breakup, but how grateful he was that it all worked out in the end, Jenna recalled. We're both 27 now, and when people ask us about our love story, it's our favorite part to tell because we really felt invisible strings pulling us together all along. The couple first met in June 2019 while Mitchell was on a date with someone else. This love story just keeps getting better. How'd you meet my dad? Well, he was actually with another hoe, but I beat her down and I staked my claim because he was the best looking stallion in the bar. I mean, just so you broke up, you got back together because he didn't remember anything and okay. All right, I give up. I give up. He was dating one of my friends when I met him at a drive-in movie theater. Jenna says they eventually broke up over the summer, and by January, Mitch and I were dating. It was great to be friends for 8 or so months before we started dating. I got to know him so well. I mean, well, I don't think he planned the concussion thing, John, but if so, I mean, way to way to go for the gold in your whole, like, not remembering stuff. Well, looks like, more interesting things are coming up about the South Carolina pastor whose wife there is still a lot of conjecture, either self-deleted or was assisted in self-deletion by his behavior, if you ask her family, and I haven't dug very much into this case, so I don't really have any firm opinions on it yet, other than I know people are very divided about it. Some people believe that he didn't do anything, and some people think that he is a gross human being, allegedly. So that's kind of where we are with this one. John Paul Miller, a South Carolina pastor, was arrested Wednesday evening on charges of assault and battery, months after controversy surrounding his late wife, Mika Miller's self-deletion put his name in the spotlight. Miller, 45, was released on a $776 bond on Thursday in Horry County for a third-degree assault and battery charge, according to county records. Let's see here. His arrest comes after a reported confrontation with protesters outside his local church, Solid Rock at Common Market, on Wednesday. His attorney, Russell Long, could not immediately be reached, but his office told Fox News Digital that he doesn't have any comment on his wife's case. Miller's name was back in the news on November 1st when the FBI confirmed to Fox News that they had conducted an authorized search at the Miller's home in Myrtle Beach Friday. It was unclear exactly what agents recovered from his home. Oh, I'm sorry. Micah. Thank you. Yes, this is the Micah Miller case. And like I said, you guys, I have not dug into this case, but I do know that people feel strongly on both sides. He does kind of have dead eyes. And okay, is it just me? And look, maybe I'm the only ladyist and maybe I'm just weird, but he gives that nice guy creep vibe. You know, the guy that's, always up in front, talking about how he loves his wife and kids. And there's just something a little off and you can't quite figure it out, but there's something in your lizard brain that's like, he's too nice. I don't, oh, hell no. Uh, Micah Miller died by self-deletion in April. The 30-year-old woman was found passed away from a, forced multiplier shot in North Carolina's Lumber River State Park, the Robeson County Sheriff's Office previously confirmed. She had purchased a force multiplier, you know, the same day she passed away. The case received national attention as court documents highlighted the couple's contentious relationship, and Micah's sisters demanded justice for her death on social media. She had filed for divorce 2 days before she died, according to Fox 8 Greensboro. The Miller's friend, Alicia Young. Now, chat, correct me if I'm wrong because I don't know a lot about this case, but didn't he kind of groomish her? I mean, wasn't she very, very young when they met and he had a significant age gap from her? I could be wrong, but wasn't he like a youth pastor and she was like one of the attendees? This could be a totally another case I'm looking at because unfortunately, let's see here. The Miller's friend, Alicia Young, told Fox News Digital that at least 25 FBI agents were at John Paul's home for 5 hours collecting evidence. The evidence collected included removing fingerprints off the doors. Young said that John Paul had left the residence just 2 minutes prior to the FBI agents arriving, and they found him and served him at Starbucks. And, if you are dealing with a terrible relationship, if you are dealing with having to leave a terrible relationship, please, please don't make a permanent choice about I know it doesn't seem temporary, but it is temporary because now, you know, your family's just left with no answers and no one to comfort them. He was not allowed to go to his house while they were there, and he is in their custody for questioning. John Paul has not been charged with any kind of crime related to his wife's passing. Oh, thank you so much. This might be something we deep dive into. Next week, I'm toying with the idea of doing a speed run of one of the latest cases while we're waiting on Delphi to come back with a verdict if they don't come back with one today. Or if they come back with one today, there is a case that looks like it's about 3 days long about, someone being burned, you know, to death. We seem to have a lot of fire-related cases here lately. I mean, is burn pile the new, I don't know, suitcase this year? Now, he has not been, charged with any crime, and, the Robeson County Sheriff's Office said at the conclusion of their investigation that John Paul did have an alibi the day that, his former wife passed. Investigators learned through interviews that John Paul Miller was at an athletic event in Charleston on the day of Micah's Miller's death. I don't know why that name is so hard for me. You'd think I'd and it's not a hard name. It's just I have a mental block on it. Now, John Miller's vehicle was observed traveling on Highway 17 bypass in Horry County about 2:22 p.m. on April 27th, 2024. The investigation confirmed that John Miller was accompanied while traveling to and from the event in Charleston, South Carolina. The Solid Rock Ministries website has been deleted, and John Paul appears to be working on moving the church's location. This is why so let me speak as the world's worst Christian and kind of agree with some of you guys that maybe don't like religion. It's church leaders like this that make the rest of us Christians look like morons. I do not like church people like this. Everyone is human. We are all living in a fallen world. We are all have the potential to be giant butt monkeys. And some days we choose butt monkey. But I really dislike these pastors that act like they are holier than thou, church people that act like they're holier than thou. I am the first to admit that I screw up all the time and fall short of all the things I'm supposed to be doing as a Christian. But this guy, you know what? Just because you're a pastor doesn't mean you're human. And I really dislike these, from the impression I get from just the very cursory few facts that I have, she was probably expected to be the perfect pastor's wife. She was probably expected to smile, to never, be tired, to never not want to go to a function, to put the church's needs above her own, and to understand that her husband was incredibly busy. And if he had to, neglect her or his family duties, that's just part of being a pastor's wife. It just We are all fallen. I don't care if you're a pastor. That just means you're fallen too. For the love of Cheetos, it doesn't make sense to me. In the Hades in a handbasket, quote, "Fire her A up. Woman, quote, strategically placed," end quote, force multiplier in a utility box in a deadly shooting captured on Facebook Live. What have I said? Do not film your crimes. An argument between a Florida photographer and a client devolved into violence when the upset client took shots of the photographer, but with her force multiplier and not, a camera. And unfortunately, she passed away, and it was all captured on Facebook Live. Siobhan Shantae Tyler, 35, was accused of unaliving 34-year-old Lauren Ashley Martin on Tuesday in Sanford, sorry, not Stanford. And thank you for the 5 memberships gifted. Hey, Joe. And those went to OnlyFan, Hyacinth, Seriously question mark, LW, and Sonia. Welcome to the Church of Mo. I will get these probably written down after this. I'm going to be real with you guys. Last night was no bueno. So I got maybe 3 hours of sleep. So I am doing this stream and then I am crawling back into bed while it is quiet and the kiddos are at school. But thank you for joining the Church of Mo. Thank you, Hey Joe, for gifting those memberships. We have Dark Chocolate, Sarcasm, and, well, Daria. What can I say? We're living the dream. We're living the dream. Let's see here. In Sanford, which is about 20 miles north of Orlando, a probable cause arrest affidavit says that police responded around 7 p.m. to the, freedom seeds ringing. They arrived to find Martin on the road suffering from wounds to her chest. God, I hope that she had someone at least holding her hand as she passed. I don't know, and I'm not going to try to get political here or anything, but if any of you know who David Dorn is, the gentleman who I believe was a retired police officer, went during the summer of love or whatever we would like to call it, to collect, to just watch his friend's pawn shop. Thank you so much, Shantae's Inferno. You are all welcome. And he got unalived, and instead of holding his hand, this bystander's just yelling, and he's just, living his last moments of his life. And you would think that, people would have enough humanity to stop screaming and hold this man's hand, and, so he wouldn't feel so alone as he passed away. And God bless the first responders that do this. Like, I couldn't be a first responder. I would be too heartbroken every day. I don't have that sort of compartmentalizing, that, is really needed if you're going to take on these jobs. I would be heartbroken. Now doctors did perform surgery to try to save her life. Unfortunately, it was not successful. Police processing the scene found a pool of blood, a children's toy bat, and a 9mm hand, force multiplier. Savan, who lived at the condo complex, remained on the scene and spoke to investigators. Post Miranda, she reportedly admitted to shooting Martin twice during a fistfight. You need a freaking lawyer. Do not admit to your crime. Martin's family told Orlando NBC affiliate WESH that she was a photographer. Tyler had an issue with some of the photographs, and someone made a comment online, and it spiraled out of control from there. Tyler told the police that she learned Martin was coming over to her home to fight while watching a Facebook Live video. And thank you, Jedi Jest, for gifting 5 more memberships. And those went to Michelle Smith, Australia, Robin Lane, Kalisa Katz, C. Lajas. Possibly, if you can spell that phonetically, I can probably pick that up better. And then Sumi. I hope I didn't, completely butcher anyone's names. But if I did, just try to spell it out phonetically, and I will try to correct that next time I see it. So congratulations. Welcome to the Church of Mo. I will get all of these tickets written out after I sleep so I can remember what letters look like. Now, apparently, she heard that this was going to be a rumble in the jungle. So she was like, I'm going to get my toy bat. I'm going to have my full force multiplier right here. And it's going to be on like Donkey Kong. So while she was waiting for Martin, Tyler stated that she strategically placed the force multiplier in a nearby utility box. When Martin arrived, Tyler met her in the middle of the street holding the mini bat. The two began mutual combat style fistfight, the cops said. Martin then allegedly snatched the bat out of her hand. Tyler allegedly ran to retrieve her force multiplier and shot Martin, 2 times. Now, Sarah Boone, this is what it looks like when you actually have mutual combat. The problem is, and we would need Bronca. I don't know if her running away would signal that she wants to, end the fight. She would like to disengage. Therefore, if the other woman wasn't running at her with the bat, she didn't, present a clear and, present sense of danger. you might have a self-defense, but you probably would have a better self-defense if, you didn't perhaps film this on Facebook Live. Now, Tyler claimed that she became in fear for her life when Martin had the bat, uh, but backtracked on that statement and claimed she thought that Martin could have had a force multiplier too. She said she was scared for her 4 children in the home. Well, ma'am, how about if you have 4 children and person says, "I'm on my way to fight you with, a on Facebook Live," and thank you so much, Wolfram, for gifting 5 memberships, and those went to Gresham Shea, Amber Adia, Natalie Pirani, Bonnie Old Lady, and Starburst 55. So welcome and congratulations for joining the Church of Mo. We have dark chocolate and sarcasm and maybe an adult beverage tonight. Uh, Nightly Newsy News in December will be Nightly Boozy News because I was able no mom guilt this year. I have stalked these things for 8 years, but always got such great mom guilt before I put them in the cart at Aldi. I finally got their big old, wed or wine, advent calendar. And no mom guilt this time. Mr. Mo was like, "What the hell is this box?" And I was like, "It's my Christmas gift to me." So the Facebook Live video by Martin and Tyler's girlfriend captured some of the incident, including the suspect holding the force multiplier. The girlfriend was allegedly egging on Tyler, saying, quote, "Beat that loose moral woman's behind," and, quote, "Fire her behind up." Now, I have changed these particular languages, but yes, it was too dark to capture the, unfortunate murder or shooting, depending on what you want to say, but cops did hear two in the background. One hit Martin's forearm, and the other one unfortunately entered her abdomen, which struck several organs. A family is mourning the loss of a loved one because someone chose to resolve a disagreement with violence. Sanford Police Chief Cecil Smith said in a statement, "What started the argument between these two won't be remembered, but the loss of Lauren will forever be with her family and friends. There are choices other than violence." Tyler is at Seminole County Jail without bond on a first-degree murder charge. Now, here's my question. If we created dueling fields in the style of American gladiators with those pugil sticks, I mean, would this stop some of this? I don't know. I'm not a big brain. I don't have the answers to anything, but something needs to change in people's hearts or spirits or in society. In where were you raised in a barn? Apparently so, because you want to dress up like, John Fetterman on vacation. What is wrong with you, sir? Tourists stole historic artifacts after jumping a fence at a national park. It's called a postcard. It's called a dumb t-shirt that said, "I went to the Grand Canyon and all I got was this dumb t-shirt." That's what the rest of us Americans do, for the love of Cheetos. Two Coloradans face criminal charges after allegedly trespassing on a historic cowboy camp at Canyonlands National Park in Utah and stealing artifacts. Durango, Colorado residents Roxanne McKnight, 39, and Dusty Spencer, 43. What the hell is wrong with you giant adult kidult babies? 43, and this is what you're doing? 40 damn 3. Your mom is ashamed. And ma'am, 39 isn't that much younger. What the hell is wrong with you? Bet you were wearing some damn Lululemons, leggings that cost $300. I'm sure that this pullover is some sort of, I don't know, Tommy Hilfiger, Sperry, something stupidly expensive. And of course, you have your gold chain, sir. I thought gold chains were supposed to be about right about here, so you didn't have to unzip your entire pull-up to, show them. But or God, I hope that's not chest hair in a weird way. Ooh. I mean, to be fair, I'm no longer gonna try to map out his what's going on with this pull-up like I'm looking at the Zapruder film because he just looks creepy. If it's fenced off for the slow people out there, that means you don't go behind it, for the love of God. Now, they entered a fenced off area of the park where they then handled and stole numerous historic artifacts preserved in the Cave Springs Cowboy Camp. On March 23rd, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Utah wrote on a November 4th press release. Both were charged with theft of government property worth less than $1,000, possessing or distributing cultural or archaeological resources, and walking on or entering an archaeological or cultural resource, authorities said. They are scheduled to appear before a chief of U.S. Magistrate Judge Dustin B. Peed. Oh, God. If there are If your last name is Peed, just change it. There is no way that this man made it through middle school without the amount of bullying that will make him probably very, very antagonistic. At the United States District Court in Moab. It is pronounced Moab. I'm not like making something up that's going to offend all the LDS people. I'm going with Moab right now until I'm told, because 'cause I'm like, "Mother of all bombs?" You can tell I'm in a service member family when I'm like, "Moab? Mother of all bombs? We have a town for that?" This historic camp was protected by fencing and clear warnings prohibiting visitors from entering the area, which McKnight and Spencer disregarded, authorities added in the release. Court documents say that the area is protected by a log fence. Okay, so it is Moab. The alleged thieves disregarded clear no trespassing signs around the site, which houses artifacts from the camp of pioneer ranch or cattle ranchers between the late 1800s and 1975. The camp also showcases ancient rock carvings made by indigenous tribes about 6,000 years ago. Yeah, Bueller, Peed. Is Peed here? Yeah, these two are. Oh, I was wrong. She was not in Lululemon leggings, but she is wearing those, like, tactical sandals, and he apparently has some sort of, I'm guessing, microbrewery. What is going on? Did they pair Are they wearing matching shorts? There's so many things that are going wrong in this picture. Among the objects allegedly taken by the couple were antique nails, according to court record. You guys are gonna get nailed for antique nails. Please, please, if there is look, tiny baby Jesus, if you are listening, God, it's me, Mo. I would like them to have to tell everyone in Gen Pop why they are in federal pound me in the behind prison because they stole some ancient nails. Thank you, Jesus. Also, please help all those that are suffering. Amen. I mean, you stole some damn nails. That's what you're gonna go to federal pound me in the behind prison for, although I think it's just Utah pound me in the behind prison. But still, I hope you have to tell all of your Gen Pop friends why you're in there. Law enforcement park rangers at Canyonlands National Park are seeking information. So we had not only that, but you are on camera. You think that they are just going to leave this stuff out and not have cameras? You both are such giant mega minds. Have fun with that. In a video recorded at the archaeological site, the individuals entered the hand sign or the signed as closed area, removed artifacts from the cabin, and handled historic harnesses in a manner that had potential to damage them. And this is why we can't have nice things. Look, if I can take my children, now they are usually like told to within an inch of their losing their iPads for the rest of their human, existence. If I can get all of my feral children to go with me in Hobby Lobby, now it is an out-of-body experience filled with so much anxiety that you can barely breathe, but if I can take my wild feral boys into Hobby Lobby and they can understand, do not touch things because if you break it, we buy it, and you will lose your iPad. You would think a 43-year-old and a 39-year-old could kind of figure this stuff out, but I guess Utah prison will be a great learning opportunity. We'll start back at kindergarten. You don't touch things that aren't yours. You don't go where you're not supposed to, and you don't do it while you're all caught on camera. Good luck with that. Well, it is just, officers somewhat behaving badly between the Delphi case, the Karen Reed case, and, well, this particular story. Apparently, corrections officers plotted a quote unquote "go away" party to ambush inmates awaiting release. Good lord. Could we have a good cop story here soon? I mean, I'm glad that we're learning all of this stuff coming out, but what the hell, cops? A corrections officer in New Jersey who watched two separate attacks on inmates as in an officer's quarters by fellow inmates and a colleague during a going away party is going to prison. Joshua Hand, 35, was sentenced on Tuesday to 20 months or more than a year and a half in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release and a $10,000 fine, U.S. Attorney's Office announced in a press release. He pled guilty in February to charges of depriving two inmates of their right not to be subjected to cruel and unusual punishment, prosecutors said. His defense attorney did not immediately respond to a request for comment from Law and Crime. The attacks happened between April 2019 and December 2019 at the Bayside State Prison in Leesburg, New Jersey. Court documents said that the attacks at the prison were common. They happened when the officers would initiate a quote unquote going away party for an inmate nearing the end of his prison sentence or their transfer to another unit or facility. Corrections officers orchestrated the assaults and recruited other inmates to carry out the assaults. Sometimes the corrections officers themselves would either help to restrain the inmate or directly participate with the assaults. The assaults took place in areas of the prison's kitchen out of sight of surveillance cameras, so there would be no visual record. The indictment outlines two assaults on two separate inmates that occurred December 5th, 2019. The first one happened when, shortly before victim one's scheduled release from prison, he was summoned to the officer's quarters by Hand's colleague, who is identified in court documents as John Makos, 44. Shortly after victim one entered the officer's quarters, the exit door was blocked, and he was assaulted by several inmates and taken down to the floor as Hand and Makos watched. During the assault, victim one was held down by several inmates while the others delivered punches and other blows to his torsos, arms, and legs of victim one. Let me think. Is this what happened uh, to the, cadet that passed away during training accidents in Massachusetts? Because if this seems like something that they were kind of okay with doing, they had figured out how to, work around the system. How many other officers, how many other people have done this in their own facility? Let's see. One of the inmate delivered multiple punches to victim one's lower body and torso. Another inmate was positioned near the door as a lookout. Hand watched but did not say anything or do anything to stop the assault, the court document said. Victim one was injured during the assault but did not complain to the prison authorities because he feared that his discharge date might be postponed. Later that day, victim two was in the officers' quarters at the prison with Hand and Maikos. Without provocation, Maikos struck victim two in the legs multiple times with a broomstick while Hand watched. Maikos pled guilty in the case and was sentenced to 30 months or 2.5 years. Welcome, Shizzy Raiders. So thank goodness that, the detectives or whoever these inmates confided into listened and talked and or listened and, really, you know, in investigated this because, I'm sure they probably felt a great amount of distrust going to police officers or anyone that could help them with this. So good on the police officers who did not back the blue, but got the swamp, out of the blue, because that is much better. Clean these kind of people out of positions of power. They don't deserve them and they can't handle them. Thank you, Debbie Webb, for just popping by. Appreciate it. And then, in kind of a bittersweet story, but I am so glad that we finally know who this person was. Workers found human bones by Hoover Dam in 2009. 15 years later, officials have identified the John Doe. November 11th, 2009 was an ordinary day for two construction workers on a highway near the historic Hoover Dam on the border of Nevada and Arizona. That is, until something out of the ordinary caught their attention: a human bone. After noticing the first human bone, workers continued searching the area and found bone after bone, according to Mojave County Sheriff's Office. They were human, the workers concluded. As responders kept looking, they discovered more and more: a red t shirt, a pair of blue jeans bleached by the sun, a damaged white towel, a black sneaker, green sleeping bag. A wider search continued in the following days, and more human remains were found. The recovered items were submitted to the Mojave County Medical Examiner's Office for further investigation, but detectives hit a dead end. For years, they searched for a lead, but there was no success. Officials began revisiting the case in February 2022 when Mojave County detective obtained a bone sample from the victim. The sample was later submitted for examination to labs in Arizona and Texas to try to identify the John Doe. All attempts were met by the same result: no identification, and the case went cold again. It wasn't until April when Mojave County investigators were notified by Othram Inc. So Othram is a lab that specializes in DNA genealogy and things like that. That they can generate leads for unsolved cases by analyzing DNA on top of traditional genealogy research, according to the U.S. Department of Justice. It combines forensic genes or DNA analysis with conventional genealogy or one's family history for human identification. So it was the missing piece in the 15-year-old puzzle. In October, Mojave County investigators received groundbreaking report concluding that John Doe was a descendant of Michigan-based ancestors born in the 1800s. From that discovery, a robust investigation followed, and investigators found and located possible relatives of the unknown man. After a series of interviews, investigators learned a man named William Herman Hitakame had not been seen by his siblings since 1995. Before his disappearance, he was last traveling in the Southwest. The compilation of interviews and reference testing with siblings confirmed that the unidentified remains were Hayatamake. Look, I am butchering this name, but I would like you all to see it because holy fazolies. Yeah. Hietaamaki. We're just going to call him William, though, from now on. Born in 1950, William grew up in Trout Creek, Michigan area with his family. He went by his middle name Herman and was known for his nomadic lifestyle by those closest to him. Herman stayed in Michigan until he graduated high school and embarked on a traveling journey across the country. Hitchhiking was a cornerstone of his life. Herman was last seen by his family in New Mexico when he went to visit his sister in 1995. Through the reference testing, investigators learned that Herman suffered from epileptic seizures. The medical examiner's office could not determine his cause of death due to the state of his remains, but estimated his year of death was between 2006 and 2008. Forensic genetic genealogy first emerged in 2018, decades after Herman's disappearance, according to a University of New Haven study. The emerging tool has helped identify unknown victims in hundreds of unresolved cold cases from across the country. So it really is quite a blessing, I imagine, for this family who didn't know what happened to their relative, and maybe they assumed that he was just living his best life as a nomad, but hopefully they can take his remains and bring him back to family, and I think that's really cool. I'm glad they, couldn't determine or they didn't see any signs of, murder shenanigans on the bones, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen, just that they couldn't tell from the bones, but I am glad that this family now knows what happened to their loved one because I'm sure there have been, restless nights thinking, "What happened to this person? Where did he go?" Things like that. Alright, well, we don't know who stole the cheddar, or we didn't know who stole the cheddar, but now we do. An arrest has been made in connection to a British cheese heist of more than 48,000 pounds of cheddar. Could you send some our way? I love cheddar cheese. Say cheese. Who the hell steals like 90 bajillion pounds of cheddar cheese? Who does this? I'm trying to see if they had a mugshot, but forgot it's England and they tend not to do mugshots before, convictions. Say cheese for a mugshot. An arrest has been made in connection to the stunning theft of 950 wheels of cheddar that shocked the British artisanal cheese community, according to a report. Police in London busted a 63-year-old man in connection to the unsavory heist, which saw cheesemongers Neil's Yard Dairy bamboozled out of 48,000 pounds of artisanal cheddar worth more than $389,000. The man was taken to South London Police Station where he was questioned. He has since been bailed out pending further inquiries. Well, I mean, I guess he's got all his cheddar money. Zach, Miss Yuma is tired. She is gonna go to bed, and then maybe I will be much more humorous, this weekend. That is insane, and thank you for your super chat, Zach. Appreciate it. I will make tags, this afternoon. Police did not provide any further details or information about the man they arrested in connection to the crime that has been dubbed by some the Great Cheese Robbery. London-based mongers Neil Yard Dairy announced last month that they were duped into handing over hundreds of wheels of Hafford, Westcombe, and Pitchfork cheddar to a man who pretended to be a representative for a French retailer. Ben Ticehurst, head cheesemaker in Trenthdown Brothers Dairy, which lost over 26,000 pounds of cheese to the theft, expressed his own perplexity with the act. We, like the rest of the world, were left wondering who wants this much cheese. If you're not a supermarket, what are you going to do with 22 tons of cheese? It's really puzzling for us, so hopefully the arrest will bring answers. Some have floated theories about the potential plans of the pilferers. Patrick Holden, who made Halford Welsh cheddar that was taken as a part of the cheesy plot, told the BBC, quote, "I think they're going to sell it in the Middle East or Russia. That's my guess. Because people won't ask questions there. I think if they tried to sell it closer to home, they'd find it difficult because the international artisan community is very well connected. Neil's Yard Dairy reimbursed their cheesemakers for their portion of the stolen products, an act which was celebrated by the artisan community. I was really concerned about was what its implications were going to be. Neil's Yard has been fantastic. Tom Caliver, director of Westcombe Dairy, said, according to The Guardian, "We're just trying to support them as much as possible by encouraging people to shop with them. It is a huge, very difficult loss." Neil's Yard shared an update last week saying they were overwhelmed by outreaches of support. Since sharing the news of our theft, the Mongers wrote in an Instagram post, we have received an overwhelming number of calls, messages, and visits. We are truly touched that so many people in the artisan cheese community and beyond are standing with us. It's a reminder of why we love the work we do. They continued, many of you have asked how you can help. To that, we say continue to support British and Irish cheese. We will be here championing British and Irish cheese for a long time to come. The community of artisanal cheesemakers, mongers, and lovers are being asked to keep a keen eye for a cloth bound raw milk cheddar that is being sold below market value. Cloth bound raw milk cheddar. I've never heard of such a thing. I mean, to be fair, I like very sharp white Vermont cheddar, and I only get that once in a while because no one else likes it in my family. So, I guess, yeah, keep a lookout for cloth-bound raw milk cheddar that is being sold at below market value. You could help solve this crime. You could be like McGruff the crime dog. In our final story, you know, Rachel Reagan may have retired, but this kangaroo is still in Florida, captured after 3 weeks on the loose in Florida. So she probably, this is now a Florida-roo. I don't know that this is a good crossbreeding program. Let's not let the, roos become Florida-roos. A kangaroo that escaped from its Florida enclosure while fleeing from a bear. Wait, Florida has bears too? You have pythons, gators, and bears? What? And kangaroos? Okay. So a kangaroo was fleeing from a bear as per usual in Florida. When because it's Florida. Florida is the Australia of America, change my mind. Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood. Thank you, Unhung Hero. They need to cut that cheese loose. Thank you for your super chat. And Panthers, that's it. It really is the Australia of America. Mike Chitwood said that the kangaroo was first spotted hopping down Pearson on October 17th and was later found to have escaped from its owner's property due to a bear entering its enclosure. Kristen Turner, a spokesperson for Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, said that the kangaroo was spotted at 8 a.m. on Wednesday. The FWC investigator and the kangaroo's owners responded to the location where the kangaroo was successfully captured and returned to its home after being bedded down in heavy cover. Kangaroos are legal to keep as pets with a permit in Florida, but Turner said that the animal's owner could face a fine for failing to report the escape to authorities within 12 hours. Do you have a license for that kangaroo? No, it's a free-range kangaroo. We don't believe in licenses. This is the most Florida of Florida things I have ever heard. Bear versus kangaroo. I do know that kangaroos have incredibly powerful kicks, so I don't know. We might have to do, an AI contest to see if a kangaroo would win or a bear would win because kangaroos being, mutant deer and my past history with deer, I'm putting money down on the kangaroo. Thank you, Unhung Hero. Gators, pythons, panthers, and bears, and now kangaroos. All animals are trying to escape to show solidarity with Peanut and Fred. That's just what's happening. That's my thought. It's just, oh, yep. I rest my case. The mutant deer are dangerous. Yeah. I mean, we need I don't know how old you guys are, but MTV used to have the claymation celebrity death matches We need kangaroo versus bear. Tracy, thank you so much. You also have wild boar. You know, Indiana, even though it's cold and a pain in the behind here lately, is sounding, pretty darn good. What, the jury is in? Or they're done deliberating, or because if they are done deliberating, then we can live stream. I'll just continue to live stream. Sorry, guys. I'm working on not super duper amounts of sleep. Also, tip for all you ladyists, that are, shaving off your hair, you do have to cut it before you shave it. You do realize? Oh, as in court. Oh. So I keep seeing these women who are trying to take hair length, like, let's say mine or longer, and just run clippers through it. That's not how clippers work. Unless you have super duper clippers, that's not how it works. Also, your husband is going to be super duper mad if you mess up his, beard clippers. Um, I do know that Law and Crime is fairly good at getting the announcement out. Now, I typically, find it on Twitter, but if you just keep, like, a page opened to Law and Crime or Court TV, they are pretty good. Well, yeah, but whoever you got the hair clippers from, you're not gonna be able to return them from Walmart if you gunk them all up with your long hair. Well, anyways, you guys, so the Delphi case is still in, verdict watch. I will try to pop on if they do come up with a verdict, though considering it's not going to be live streamed, we are just going to be kind of waiting for people. So I don't know about that. I I do wonder if it's going to take them a lot longer to deliberate, just because of how dense the information was and whether there's going to be a holdout. I will say that, I was really impressed by a lot of the jury questions that, they submitted. So, regardless of the outcome, it really does seem like these jurors are taking their jobs very seriously. And I know it can be, kind of like a team sport, like, get on my side. But I really respect them for, doing a very diligent job and, dealing with being sequestered from their families and having to work on Saturdays. And again, being sequestered from their families in a stupid hotel with, no electronics. So, whatever happens, I do appreciate the job that they did and all of the questions that they submitted. It seemed like they really took this very seriously and try to do their very best. But I will see you guys probably tomorrow for Stabby Day, and then we've got Legal Shenanigans Theater. I am going to go take a nap, and maybe by the time I wake up, we will have a verdict. Thank you so much for all of your gifted memberships and super chats. I will have all of those tags made and put them in the shadow box. And I will see you guys unless there is a verdict that comes in today. Then I will go and hop on live. I think like every single other person on LawTube. So absolutely, you are not required to hop on to my live if Andrea Burkhart is live, because goodness knows she has kicked behind on this case and deserves all of the eyes on her. Have a wonderful day, you guys. Bye.